Hello, this is Michael Brand from Tinternet, courtesy of Tinted. Right, today what we're going to talk about is door panels. How to do door panels, how to take them off, how to get that inch gap for a bottom load. Now, if you lot don't know the difference between a top load and a bottom load, we will upload a video that has in-depth differences between the two. But for now, all we're going to say is that someone who's a top loader will generally not take the door panel off, and they will just try their hardest to just squeeze the tint in without having to remove it. The tint can be a little bit delicate, of course, and obviously if you put the tint in just past the visible line, just above the door panel, then every time that you wind down that window, the bottom edge of the window tint is going to keep hitting that rubber weather strip at the top of the inside of the door panel, and eventually it's going to wear away and it's going to peel, and you're going to find yourselves having to redo your own work. What we do is we are bottom loaders when it comes to door glass. We will remove the door panel to take that rubber weather strip out, and then once that weather strip is out, we now have that inch gap to tuck our material down. Now, we teach people one-to-ones on a weekly basis, every Monday and Tuesday, and some people, especially some people who are interested in car customization, but aren't really that savvy when it comes to taking off car parts. And sometimes when we talk about, right now we're going to remove a door panel, you see the trainee's expression on their face when they say, oh God, I'm not very good at this part. This is nothing to worry about. To do a professional job on a window tint, on a car, window tint a car, we're going to have to remove that weather strip out of the door panel to tint it. But here's the good news. It does not mean, 70, maybe 80% of the time, that does not mean that we have to take the entire door panel off, or even any of the plastic covers and fixings off, in order to get that rubber strip off. And in this video, we're going to show you exactly what I mean by that. Okay, so what we're looking at here is positions A, B, and C. Now, once we've wound down the window, the first thing we need to do is address position A. Now, position A, hopefully, and this is what we are depending on as a window tinter, is we can release position A, the top of the door panel, without having to remove any of the trims. Hopefully, we can release this by pulling it towards us or rolling it off the weather strip. If that doesn't work, unfortunately, we are going to have to take off the door panel. And what we would do is we would look at what covers are covering a potential screw that we need to take off. More or less, as you can see, it will probably be the cover to the left of the letter A. Now, taking that off, and if we still can't do anything with the top, we are going to go down to position B. Now, position B is the most delicate part of any door, and it's because that's the part of the door that the driver, the owner, or the passenger is pulling on. Now, any person who is pulling on that door, obviously, without any screws reinforcing that door panel, it's going to break. So please believe that if you cannot address the door panel just from the top only, you will need to address it from position B. Once you have addressed position B, you are pretty much all ready to go, but there might be something to catch you out in position C, which is the bottom of the door panel. And in nowadays, you tend to find that actually car manufacturers do not put screws on the bottom of the door, but in the earlier days they did. So please double check that before you start popping the door panel off. So wind the window down, start on position A. Hopefully you will be able to remove that weather strip without taking off the door panel. If that does not work, take off any screws in position A, work down to position B, where there will definitely be screws to release, and then maybe position C also. If that still doesn't work, try and Google it, because nowadays with this internet-based world, any single car you can find will probably be available to Google, and you will find out how to release that door. Okay, so here we are in the workshop, and what we try to do is we try to pull in a few different cars so we can give you different examples of how to take off the door panel. Now, you'll see here that we have a Lexus IS200. We have a Vauxhall Corsa or an Opel Corsa, depending on whereabouts in the world you are. We have a BMW 1 Series, and we have a VW Caddy van. Now, obviously, every single one of these is going to have a different method in which to take out that weather strip in order to do a bottom load to tint it. The first thing that we're going to say is we always want to start from the top down. So the first thing we do, providing obviously we don't know how to take this door panel off, on various cars we're going to wind the window down first, and then we're going to start on the top and work our way around. And I'll say here that some of these I actually already know how to do because they're so common cars, we see them day in, day out. There is 1 or 2 cars in this workshop right now that off the top of my head I have no idea how to take the door panel off. So you're going to see me improvise as I go. So if we start on the BMW first, please. We start on this BMW first, then basically in all cases of BMWs, in Land Rovers and Jaguars, a couple more as well, you do not have to take the door panel off. The reason from experience we know this is because this door panel, rather than sitting on top of the rubber and hanging on the top, where you would have to take everything off and release the poppers and lift it off, this top of the door panel is actually sat on metal clips here. So all we need to do in any Jaguar, any Land Rover, any BMW is literally get some sort of popper tool, something like this, or some type of crowbar, some type of flathead screwdriver, whichever one you want to do. And by me just doing this, I come straight off there. And as you can see, there's the strip that we're looking for. There's the part that we're trying to release. So all we'd have to do is get our hook tool in this corner, and out it comes. Once we have that, we have this gap to feed the material in. Now, because of that, that means that we did not have to take this off. We did not have to figure out where the other screws are, and just by coming down here, I can feel that there's a screw in the bottom. There is definitely going to be a screw there and a screw there, and that is probably it on this car. I say probably it because I've never actually taken one of these off in all the years I've done it, because I have no need. I can just pull it over there, pull this strip out, and then I have no reason to try and remove this and possibly scratch it, possibly chip it, anything like that. So that's how to do any BMW, any Land Rover, any Jaguar, and a couple more. So like I say, start from the top. Can we do this? Can we take that out? If we can, brilliant. If we can't, we take it off. If we don't know how to take it off, we'll look on YouTube, we'll find a video, and we'll take that bush straight off. Right, let's go try and find a different one. We will look at the VW Caddy. Now this VW Caddy, which is my van, excuse the mess. Again, if we were to take this off, we will see that there is a cover here. So starting at the top, working our way down, there will be a screw there, there will be a screw there. There will probably be a screw at the bottom. Actually, there is, oh yes, there is. There's one screw at the bottom. And if we did need to take all this off, we'd have to take the manual winder off too. On a VW, the circlip removal, which can be quite tricky, doesn't need to be done in this case because it's got like a plastic sort of thing there where you just pop it up. Gaz, if you just come in a little bit closer on this handle here, you would pop that up and then you just remove it like so. Take that out, there'll be a screw there, screw there, screw at the bottom, everything will come off. But do we need to do that? Let's have a look. Can I roll this panel? Now this does not sit on clips like the last one, but can I roll it? Yes, I can. Just like so. And there it is. There's our gap. Right there to feed our material in. Obviously, when we're done, we pick it up and we just roll it back. As simple as that. We pick it up, we bend it towards us, and we roll it back. Now this was already halfway done because we've used this van before for a in a training course, so it was very easy to roll off, and that's because it wasn't actually correctly put back on anyway. Let's look at another car. We go to the Vauxhall Corsa. Now again, normally, you'd wind down the window first, start on the top. Can we pull it towards us? I can tell you now the answer would be no, because I can already see that this door panel is sat on top of the weather strip. So in order to get the door panel off, we would obviously, again, there will be a screw in there. There will be a cover here to take out with a screw there and a screw there, and probably one, maybe two at the bottom. But do we need to remove all that? Let's start at the top. Can I pick this up and roll it off that weather strip? Oh, nice and easy, this one. If you can put the camera in here, you will see that there is a metal clip there, and there is also a plastic sort of catch on the door panel in there. And all it does is this plastic catch hooks over this metal, and that holds it in place. So to get this weather strip off, all we would have to do, like you just saw, would you see me pick it up and actually roll the plastic clip of the door panel off the metal clip. That's going to release the door panel, and then obviously with our hook tool, we would get in the entrance on the side, and that's going to come straight out as well. What else have we got? We have got the Lexus. Now, I can't remember how to take off a door panel on a Lexus, but I am pretty certain that it cannot be rolled. One of the reasons I'm so certain it cannot be rolled is because it being a Japanese car, or wherever it's from, it's normally built quite methodically. So here, well, the first thing I notice is the rubber trim that we're trying to release is actually on the top of the door panel rather than underneath the door panel as usual. So what we could explore is, can we remove this rubber off the door panel without having to take the door panel off? And let's have a look. I'm pretty sure the answer will be no. And yes, that answer is correct. The answer is no, we cannot do that. Next part, can we roll it off? No, we cannot. This is one of the rare cases where we actually have to remove this door panel. Now again, the first thing I would do is I would look at this door panel, and it's probably going to be very, very obvious. If for some reason it's not, if there's a cover that I'm not sure whether it comes off or it's not, I will just literally go on YouTube and I will type this model of car in with the words door panel removal afterwards, and there will bound to be a video of me of somebody taking this off. It'll take 2 minutes, but let's see if I can figure this out for myself. So, if we come inside here, the first thing, starting at the top, working our way down, is I will see there is a cover just underneath there. I'll take a little pig tool, and I will release this cover. This is actually the wrong type of pig tool. It's a little bit too angled, but there it is. Cover just fell off there. It's going to be a crosshead. Of course it is. It's because it's an old car. Old Japanese car. And it keeps things very simple. So let's remove this screw first. The next one, down in there. Screw. Let's have a look. Again, just remembering that every door panel is different, but the majority of the time they all run by the same concept. They need to have some screws in place on the parts that you're pulling on. So if there's ever a door handle here you're pulling, you can bet your life on it that there's going to be screws underneath. On a car this old, you can bet your life there's going to be screws at the bottom. Take that screw out there. There might be something underneath this cover, but I'm not going to remove it yet. I'm going to carry on working my way down, and if we get stuck in the middle, we'll know why. So we've taken one out there, we've taken one out here. Now, is there any at the bottom? I can't feel any. So what we're going to do, assuming that has to come off as well, obviously, because that is sat on top of the door panel, and obviously we now need to take the door panel off. That's been sat on top is obviously just going to get in the way, so we're going to need to take that off also. Now let's see if that was enough. Was them 2 simple screws enough to take this door panel off? Now, as you can see, me getting this far shows us
that this part, where I was wondering whether there was a screw behind or not, we can see it's not, because it's moving. But one thing I can feel is we are caught right here. Apologies for the edit there, we had a customer walk through the door. But, so here we are, like I say, just repeating myself slightly now to remember where I was. As I move this here, you can see that this part here was not a problem. I didn't have to take anything off, but I did feel it was very secure there. Now I actually was just about to go get some tools there to remove that, but as I gave it a bit of a wiggle, it just pretty much fell off. Perfect. Not how I intended it on taking it off, but it came off just the same. And now, there does not feel like there is any obstructions. So now I can take it off. There is my big gap to tint this window in. And obviously, once I'm finished this window, we will just backtrack on ourselves in reverse order. So now, let's put this one back on. Get it right back in the place where it come out of. Goes a little popper there, don't worry, it's got a million. We will put this back on. We will put this back on. And if we just look here, you will see that there is like a sliding hook there. So it shows us how it's been done. Yeah. Then we will put that screw back in. We will put that screw back in. We will put the cap back there. And it's done. And like I said, I had no idea how to take this door panel off before I came down and looked at it and just started removing screws and seeing what it needed. And that's it. So, like I say, that is how you take a door panel off a Lexus IS200, which didn't let us remove the door, the weather strip from the top. The Vauxhall Corsa here, that just needed picking up and rolling off to pull that weather strip off. This BMW here, that actually is sat on the top of the clips, so we just released the clips and pulled that weather strip out. This VW Caddy here, we just had to pick it up, roll it off, give ourselves that gap, and then once we're finished, we pick it up and we roll it back on. If we cannot release it from the clips, if we cannot roll it from the top, then of course, like the Lexus, we're going to have to take it off. And if you get stuck, Google it, YouTube it, anything, it will be there. A lot of people are scared of taking door panels off because they're scared of breaking things. And this whole video is to demonstrate that the majority of the time, you do not need to take anything off. And if you do, there is nothing to be afraid of. My name is Michael Brand. Thank you for watching. See you soon.